A lot of people ask me, how do you recognize if somebody wants you or not? If the man that you were with or the woman that you were with, how do you recognize if they don't want you? And I'll tell you the truth. It's not very hard to recognize when somebody don't want us. Our intuition tells us. We feel it. We see how they avoid us, how they begin to treat us and disrespects us. They begin to become distant. The way how they touch us change. The way how they speak to us, it's just different. The tones that they use to speak with us is just different. Sex is different. It's not the same anymore. It's not hard to know when somebody no longer wants us. It's not hard at all. If we have to ask a question, a lot of times we already feel it. We already know it. There's something in us that's telling us the truth. But here's the issue. It's not hard to recognize, but it's hard to accept it. So many of us don't know how to accept when someone no longer wants us. It's not hard to recognize when somebody no longer wants us, but it's hard to accept it. See, when we begin to accept it, it becomes smoother. It becomes easier. There's no healing involved. See, it's when you fight the idea that they don't want you anymore. It's when we force ourselves on them. When we force our value. We force our worth. We try doing more things. See, when somebody no longer wants you, doing more things don't make it better. They actually build more resentment. They actually resist you even more. They actually is more turned off the more you do. You know, when the person no longer wants you, one of the things is you realize that no matter what you do is never good enough. And no matter who you will be never good enough. You will be never good enough for somebody who doesn't want you or like you. And we can't accept it. See, our ego, we can't. If we accept that you no longer want me, our ego destroys us. We begin to feel that there's something wrong with us. We begin to feel like we need healing. We begin to feel like maybe it's us that did something wrong. We begin to feel like I'm not good enough. We begin to feel all these things. And the thing is, it has a lot of times nothing to do with you. See, people have the choice of moving on. People have the choice of no longer wanting us. People have the choice of rejecting us. People have the choice to say, that's it. I don't like you anymore. People have the right. But for some reason, we can't accept it. The more you fight, the more we fight that somebody don't want us, is the more we stay in places where we feel uncomfortable. We do things and then we feel used after. We begin to feel insecure, don't we? We begin to feel like we are broken, anxious, depressed. Our worth begin to change. We begin to question who we are. We stop recognizing ourselves. All we have to do is just accept that they no longer want us, but yet we think that it's about us. See, if you don't like candy, if you don't like Twix or a Snicker bar, it's not about the Snicker bar, it's about your taste. It's not about the bar is bad, it's just that you don't have the taste for it anymore. And when you understand that, no matter what Twix comes up with, no matter what version of Twix, it's just that you just don't want it. See, no matter what you do after somebody don't want you, it doesn't make a difference. If we learn to accept that people have the right to move on with their lives, people have the right to use their damn rights to move on, their choices in moving on. Because we are all on a journey. And sometimes their journey with you is over. How dare you try to stop their journey by creating guilt, by making them feel guilty, making them feel like they can't go nowhere, making them feel like their growth stops. It's not fair. And sometimes we even make excuses. Well, I give him or her everything. Well, if you give them everything, you was in a relationship and you love them, so therefore you give. But if you give, you don't want it back. Just because somebody don't longer want you, you don't want it back. Because the truth is, when you give, you feel good. Maybe they were using you, maybe they weren't. But the thing is, we will know when someone no longer wants us. We feel it. We see the disconnection. Matter of fact, you realize that the connection breaks, don't it? Once upon a time, you finished their sentence. Now you can't. Once upon a time, you felt so much loved, or so much love from them. Now all of a sudden, you don't. Once upon a time, when they touch you, your whole body just vibrated on a high frequency. Now they touch you and you feel nothing. When they slept with you, you felt so empowered. Now you sleep with you, you feel drained. You will always know. When they smile at you, you know they smile. But now there's no more smiles there. They see you, nothing happens. You see them, nothing happens. You know. You will always know when someone don't want you. But you don't want to accept it. You must learn to accept things in life. If you want an easier life, if you want a peaceful life, if you want a relaxing life, you must learn to accept the fact that people sometimes change their minds. People tastes change. People change. People grow. It's a part of life. And when we learn that, you ain't got to heal nothing. You just, if somebody don't want you, why must you heal? Why do you need healing when somebody don't want you? Someone else wants you. I'm sure somebody else will want you. But the ones who want you, you think you don't want them. So should they heal because you don't want them? No, it's just, this is how this is. This is just all this is about. You take it personal. You take it personal because your ego is too big. Just because somebody don't want you, something is wrong? No, stop taking it so personal and humble yourself. Your ego shouldn't be that big so that if somebody don't want you, something is wrong with you. No, maybe they have a choice. So you will have to learn how to accept it. When we accept it, we learn to be okay with it. And when you understand this, to not take things personal, when you understand this, to stop taking everything in life personal, healing is not really needed. Because sometimes he ain't got crap to do with you. Nothing at all. Everybody won't like you. And everybody won't love you. You won't love everybody either. It's just nature. So learn to accept. No matter how long they've been with you, how long they rode with you, how long they talk to you, it doesn't matter. People have the right to change their minds, to keep going on with their lives. And sometimes when they're going on with their lives, it's not with you. It's okay. Lower your ego. Humility is a big deal in relationships. Some people don't want you forever. Imagine if the same things that we liked when we were 20 that we like now. Some of us don't. People too. The taste buds change. So understand this. The truth is, you know when someone no longer wants you. You have to question. You ask it every day. That's why it's in your heart. The feeling is there, but you just don't want to accept it. Accept it and move on. It's perfectly fine. Peace.